Because of the rising cost of living, we are once again on the verge of a possible economic downturn. It may seem inevitable that high-end companies like Rolex would suffer when people start spending less on luxuries and more on necessities. But given Rolex's worldwide recognition and longevity, it's safe to assume that the company has weathered more than its share of economic downturns in the past. They made it through before, and they can do it again. Yet, that doesn't mean things haven't shifted. And this is where a certain topic that has been bothering a lot of Rolex enthusiasts come in, the Rolex bubble. A lot are asking, when is a Rolex bubble going to burst? But we can't just start without a little disclaimer, of course. As much as we love watches here, we will try our best to be objective. Also, it is important for you to remember that what we say is by no means a guide to investing or anything like that. We only hope to provide you information that you might make use of in the future. Welcome to Lux Live. And when it comes to luxury and lifestyle, we've got you covered. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's start. Now, here's the thing. The bubble has already burst. But what is a Rolex bubble? A bubble, or more specifically, a speculative bubble, is essentially a situation in which the price of a specific good or commodity is significantly higher than its actual intrinsic value. If this is still unclear to you, let me give you another example to help you understand and explain it. Let's say, for instance, there is a talk that a certain car company developed a new technology to improve their cars, making their vehicles reach over 10,000 kilometers with just one battery that can recharge within 5 minutes. This company now has a significant advantage over its competitors because it can now provide something that everyone wants and needs but no one else can provide. Obviously, the company's sales and earnings will increase. Investors who commit to purchasing shares of that company can now do so with a high degree of confidence that the stock price will rise. Because of this, the stock's true worth has increased, or its intrinsic value. And since we're already talking about the Rolex bubble, let us talk about its typical course from start to finish so that we can easily understand its intrinsic worth. For example, there is a car manufacturer capable of producing a vehicle with a range of over 10,000 miles and a battery that can be charged in 5 minutes. However, it is nothing but a rumor, so what will happen next? Surprisingly, the same thing still happens when the rumor is true. In reality, the people are betting or speculating that the stock prices for that company will go up, but not because there is any proof or real value to back up their claims. So the intrinsic value doesn't change right now because the company hasn't changed and speculation doesn't add any more value. After this first phase, when the stock price has already begun to grow, investors begin purchasing for an entirely different motive. They no longer purchase because of speculations. They are purchasing stocks because their value has already increased. They are merely wagering on the continuation of this trend. This is where everything is beginning to go, since the worth of that stock is exploding and escalating to the point where people are no longer willing to pay its current price. And the moment people become uncertain about it because the stock price is no longer rising as quickly, they become scared. Those who have held onto their stocks may sell now, and those who are considering purchasing may change their minds. This exact effect will gradually become stronger. Prices are beginning to fall as people begin to panic. Those who purchased at the highest price are attempting to mitigate their losses by selling everything now. However, there is one element that is essential here. As long as there is an underlying worth value, prices will never equal zero. It's simply normalizing to the point where you can anticipate that over time it will approach the average or mean intrinsic value. This bubble can be seen with Rolex watches as well, and one good example is a very popular and well-loved Rolex Pepsi. Back then, people were willing to pay up to $30,000 for this watch, which is 3 times its retail price. But a few months later, its value is now about 20% less. $22,000 to $24,000 according to some secondary market dealers all over the web. The Rolex Yellow Gold Daytona with a green dial is another good example. People were willing to pay more than $140,000 for this watch, which normally costs about $30,000. Chrono 24 says that its current price is around 95,000 US dollars, but in reality, watch dealers are selling this for about 80,000 US dollars, while a private seller would get about $70,000 to $75,000. The price of this watch has dropped by almost half. It also means that if you bought it a few months ago for $140,000, you've lost about $70,000 now. So, do watches have intrinsic worth? Of course they do. And it is also the type of worth that could be the watch's biggest advantage, because most of the time, it is the emotional component that connects the buyer to a watch. There are other factors, of course, like the fact that it can be bought as an investment, or because people think that owning a Rolex is a status symbol. But what happened to that watch's intrinsic value in the last few years? It went up a lot. That's evident since 2017. There have been more and more people interested in expensive watches. Also, manufacturers have constantly been raising prices about 5 to 10%, which of course makes watches more valuable. And with this comes the question, did we hit rock bottom already? The answer to this is debatable. You see, a lot of people buy watches with money they don't have. Some of these people are not in for the quick profit, but are just aspiring to finally own their dream watch despite the financial constraints. We suspect that those individuals began to panic as prices began to decline, and they promptly discarded their watches. In addition, there are individuals who sold watches they weren't wearing as frequently in order to reduce their collection. So, was there really a Rolex bubble? The answer is yes, and it has already burst. So now that a lot of people are unsure, what is the best thing to do? If you are in a position where you bought a watch with money, you can choose something more vital. I guess the best thing to do now is to learn from the experience and try to buy watches only when your financial situation allows it. But still, if you're a serious watch enthusiast as we are and can't get enough of it, we say keep doing what you've been doing. Buy the ones that will make you happy and sell the ones you no longer enjoy, so you may buy something else that will. In spite of this, Rolex will forever be regarded as an excellent investment, and its prices will almost certainly continue to skyrocket. Therefore, despite everything that has been going on, buying a Rolex watch is still a very good idea for anyone who is considering doing so, regardless of whether or not they are watch enthusiasts. If you enjoy this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, click subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive updates in our latest videos. Also, feel free to leave us a comment. If you want to watch more videos, head on over to our channel to see more from Lex Live. See you!